Hey, I'm Sabrina from GetYourRockOut, and I'm with Gary and Ian from Avenger. How are you guys doing today?
Good, yeah. Enjoying the day.
Yeah. You looking forward to your gig later on?
Absolutely. It's getting to boiling point in there. The band's anticipation seems to be gathering, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously it's a few hours for us yet, but we want to get organised and get ready to go and hit the stage, so to speak. Yeah.
So, is this your first time playing at SOS Fest?
First time, yes.
Yeah.
We are virgins. For the time being.
I know, this is my first time coming here as well. So
yeah, it's pretty good though, isn't it?
Yeah, really
cool
enjoy
day,
it.
Yeah.
Is there any bands particularly you've enjoyed seeing?
Yes, who are the girl band?
Is it the Amorettes?
Was it?
The Amorettes? I think the three-piece girl band. I think it was just great, you know, it was just like refreshing to see. We were just going for it.
Oh, they were very enthusiastic.
Yeah, very.
And obviously we're looking forward to seeing Blaze this afternoon because he's playing Silicon Messiah in its entirety. And Fire Force, who are about to hit the stage if they're not actually on now, they'll be good because we played in Athens with them at Christmas and they were really kick-ass there. So I would imagine, it was a bit cold in Athens in December, but it'll be a lot warmer and hotter and stickier and everything in there now. So I think it's going to be a pretty kick-ass set for them.
Yeah. So you've said you've been to Athens. Have you got many gigs coming up now?
Yes, we've got a few coming up. We're playing the Power and Glory Fest at Hatfield in Essex on the 29th of August, which is like a month's time. The day after that we play the Northwich Festival in Cheshire. Then I think we've got about 4 weeks off, then we're on a European tour on the 2nd of October. We'll go over there for 7 or 8 days I think, and then come back and play a few more UK gigs, then go back over to Europe in December. In the meantime, while we're doing that, we're sort of busy in the middle of sort of like writing a new studio album and mixing a live album,
Yeah.
So we're promoting one, mixing another and writing the other, so we're pretty good at juggling at the minute, like.
Okay. Is that quite difficult to do, trying to do like all of it at once?
You've got to it's not worth doing anything in half measures, and you've got to sort of keep a rain check on yourself to make sure you're doing everything properly, instead of half doing everything, if you get my drift.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's the album going then?
It's gone great, hasn't it? The latest one.
The latest
I don't think we could have wished for any more, really. It's had fantastic reviews, and obviously there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into it. It was our first album for years. It was like the first one we've done since we reformed. And obviously your intrepidation that people will compare it to their older, well-known, more like classic stuff, for want of a better word, And the generic opinion is that it's a natural continuation from where we left off, So it's a big relief, and it's fantastic to hear that, Especially like everybody reiterating it, It's not like a single voice in the wilderness. Everybody seems to think that, so it's great,
So
happy men.
Yeah. So did you find it difficult getting back into it, or?
I don't think we did we?
No, it was quite natural actually. I just remember the first couple of rehearsals that we were doing with the new stuff, and it was just like, it didn't seem like it was years ago. It was yesterday.
We played a concert in an open air festival outside of Hamburg, and it was the first time we'd ever played any new stuff, and we got really anxious about what people might think of it, So we played about 4 songs, and I honestly think a lot of people thought it was the old stuff. It was like we're practically singing the words, So I thought, we're definitely hitting the right spot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say that you're going to be doing a tour in Europe as well. Is there a difference between doing a UK tour and a tour in Europe?
I think the UK is getting more and more like Europe all the time. Don't know if it's a resurgence in classic rock or what, or people deliberately seeking out bands, or it seems to be getting more and more. This is a very European experience, SOS Festival.
Yeah.
It feels like so many European festivals we've played in the past, doesn't it?
So what makes it that sort of experience though?
I don't know, like the laid back, it's a very well organised event, but it's also very laid back and relaxed, you know what I mean? Very much like the continental way of life, like general way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not everyone's running around like a headless chicken. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's not what you don't want, you know, and it's not like that here.
You leave that when you go on stage.
But even a lot of pub gigs though now, you're getting that sort of stuff. You know, people are coming up and they're very interested in merch and patches and stuff like that. You know, and it wasn't so much like that years ago in the UK. You know, but it definitely seems to be heading that way.
Yeah.
It's a very continental, or at least it appears to me to be a very continental, like way of behaving. You know.
Yeah.
I think the English fans now have kind of they do really get behind English bands now. At one time they were more inclined to listen to, like in the 80s when we were like when Metallica and things first started and things like that. They were really interested in them, and like the English band kind of got a bit of a backseat. But now it's just kind of all changed now, and people seem to appreciate English bands now, which is great for us, and you know it makes everything worthwhile, you know. So I'm quite happy. But I mean, it's like I said, the European stuff is just like I said. It's all seems to be coming together now, and which is great. You know? Festival-wise, I mean, you're getting people from all over the world now. You know,
once everybody used to travel to Europe, but now you get people travelling from all over the world to come to a UK festival.
Yeah.
And I think all right, you'd get it at a huge festival, you know, like Download or something.
Yeah.
You would get it, or even Bloodstock. But you know, like now people are coming to like underground festivals from all over the world. Like you're talking to people at the bar, where you from? Oh, Paraguay. Paraguay. How did you get on the wrong plane? You know, like people have got that desire, you know, and it's all got to be a good thing, you know. It's got to be good, positive stuff.
Yeah, it seems like music's becoming even more bringing people together because they're just getting that more dedication.
It may just be the era we live in. We might need it, you know. We might need that connection.
Yeah.
I seen a really interesting documentary the other day, and it was going on, you know, like do you remember the hysteria in the 80s from people like Tipper Gore about like we're raising a generation of lunatics. Somebody actually done a census on like 500 random people, and it seemed like the metalheads were the most well-adjusted, that had thrived academically or professionally since then. And they reckon it was a group identity thing in youth that had sort of given them that self-confidence as they'd grown up. So basically all the negativity that metal attracted back then, you know, all the sort of like Stepford Wives hysteria, looks like it's been completely unwarranted, you know, which is a good thing. So when you say, is it bringing everybody together, you know, it seems like a continuation of that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, in sometimes it used to be like, I'm into heavy metal, ooh, dear me. But now, if you mention you're into heavy metal, it's just like, whoa, cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, things just change, just all of a sudden, just like round in a circle, you know.
I think in all over the march of time, people realise that there isn't possibly the harm in a situation that they might have first sort of hysterically identified, you know.
Would you say there's a favourite place in Europe or the UK that you'd like to perform?
Oh, I think we're pragmatic about it, because any gig can be outstanding on the right night in the right circumstances, you know. I certainly think that we regard ourselves very lucky to have the opportunity to play all over Europe and Latin America and stuff like that, you know. It's not something that we take lightly. Yeah. But I don't think like we could play like, I don't know, tomorrow in Rio de Janeiro and play in Newcastle, our hometown, the following night. I don't think there's any depreciation between how serious we take the gig, you know. We just have the opportunity to play, you know.
Would you say there's been a funniest moment on stage?
Funniest moment on stage? Going to tell about when you broke your leg in America?
It was in, I'm just trying to think, it was in Connecticut. It was Connecticut, and basically what happened was I come flying on, you know, it's a typical singer thing, he waits to the last moment before he runs on. So it gets through the first song, and I think I'm going into Brand of Torture, and I always have like water and ice, and I like to interact with the crowd, so I was throwing ice and things at them, and one of the ice cubes just landed on the floor on the stage, so I'm running to go to the stage and just straight on. It was really Spinal Tap, you know, so I had to stop the gig because like I'd fractured me foot, like broke the bone, so I got rushed to hospital. And like it was, what we're going to do, and I tried to go through the pain barrier for one song and I couldn't, so I got rushed to hospital, so that gig was over and done with, you know. But I would imagine that was quite funny. But I mean, it's kind of that kind of thing always follows this band anyway, you know, because sometimes I'm thinking, is that guy who done Spinal Tap following us or something? You know, because there's things that happen, you know. There's things I could tell you about.
Happens in all bands. It happens in all bands.
There's things that I could tell you, but I couldn't if you know what I mean. There are things that are very embarrassing, things like that, but it's just, it's one of them things.
Have you got lost behind stage yet?
Yes, we've done that in Belgium. Remember when basically the stage was upstairs and we were below,
right.
And we were trying to get up the stairs and someone had locked the trap door. It's just things like that, you know, just stupid things. I mean, Sean, one of the guitarists, you know, I mean, it didn't happen on stage, but the funniest thing ever is like we were getting a ferry back for a European tour, and he'd been to the toilet, and like we were just sitting having a drink, and he comes walking past, and he's just like got like 7 sheets of toilet roll hanging from the back of his jeans.
What about the one when we're in Amsterdam? We're in a hotel in Amsterdam, right, with 2 different entrances, and he went out to get some chips. He came out and phoned us guys up in the hotel. Says, "I'm lost." And we said, "Well, where are you?" He says, "I don't know."
It's so funny. Honestly, it just happens. Just things like that happen. I mean,
but we've got loads of kudos when we play live. Honestly, we're not like that all the time. honestly, people. It's a laugh, you know. It's like your gang, and you go out and you're just having a giggle, you know. And the best thing about it is just we go out there and enjoy ourselves. I think you'd miss this odd Spinal Tap moment if it didn't happen, mind, you know. I don't think it's a good thing to take yourself too seriously.
No, we don't anyway. So I mean, it's so much fun. I mean, something's about to happen tonight now. We've mentioned it, you know.
No, we'll go out now after this and we'll have a Spinal Tap moment now before we play, please.
It'd be like if you're in a capsule or something like that, you'd be trying to get out.
Oh, that would be brilliant. I love that album. If you ever feel depressed or if you're just in a bit of a bummer moment, like, and you put that out, you put that video on, like, it's just absolutely brilliant. You know?
I love that. Have you heard Still Crazy?
Yeah,
love that.
It's a good film, that.
Yeah.
It's funny. We're like at the end of Still Crazy, when they're like out in the snow in Holland in the square. We actually had we played a gig when we were kids in Middelburg, like right on the Schlent estuary. And it must have been Christmas time, and we come out of the gig, and like all the locals followed us out of the gig, and somebody threw a snowball and we ended up having like a snowball fight like that. And when I see that film now, it really reminds us of like having a snowball fight with all these other kids when we were kids ourselves, just after playing a gig. And the fact that it was in Holland too, I couldn't get over the irony, you know. But it's one of them things that always stays with you. And like afterwards, we got a lock in when when bars weren't open all night, we had a lock in, and like they all come to the pub with us and stuff, you know. It was great, you know.
I was just thinking about Sean with the toilet paper. Sorry.
It's been deleted off Facebook about 12 times, isn't it? So people keep posting it back up again, you know. He keeps trying to delete it, So
is there anywhere, if people want to check you out, where can they go?
If you just do a random internet search, Avenger UK, you'll get the full Reverb Nation, Twitter, Facebook, website, the full metal jacket. But remember the UK, otherwise you get like the Avengers Assemble, you know, the superheroes and the new Avengers and stuff from the 70s. But if you type in Avenger UK, you get the full metal jacket, you know. So if you need to check us out, that's where to go. That's the way to do it.
So if you suddenly see someone in an Iron Man costume or Thor helmet, you know it's not the right one.
That's right, Not unless he's having a funny moment, like.
I used to have the helmet on Bloodsports when we first done the first tour. I'd done had the American footballer's helmet and things with studs and things like that. But you
haven't got your new T-shirt on just to get the point over.
It's a bit impractical because, like it says, they're trying to sing with the American helmet on with the card in front. And it was unfortunate because there was a couple of guys at the front of the stage when they used to get down headbang. I think they still most probably have stud marks where the helmet hit them. But there were fanatical fans over there anyway, so most probably looked like Vivian off the Young Ones. But it's all fun and games, and we're just looking forward to the night. So so we can get in people's faces.
Oh, we're going to rely on your support tonight, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm
We'll be
hoping
looking
to.
for you.
Yeah.
We'll be watching.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that hard to miss either.
Yeah, hopefully not, Sabrina.
Yeah.
And those loud trousers.
Well, yeah, exactly. Is there anything else you'd like to add, guys?
Yeah, that's cool. It's been really nice speaking to you.
Yeah. And you, thank you very much.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.